how many times have you heard some brainwashed, mushy brain freaking Democrat bitching and moaning about Donald Trump pleading the Fifth Amendment, right? Every time he's ever done it, they've covered it. And they told you that it means he's got to be guilty. And they've played on a loop everything he's ever said about someone else pleading the Fifth. And now the key prosecutor responsible for the Stormy Daniels hush money misdemeanor case is in Congress pleading the Fifth, which is your right. You can plead the Fifth. It's your right not to answer any questions that may cause you to wind up in jail. But I'm going to show you some of these questions, man. The guy is asked some pretty simple questions. I mean, did you ever violate anyone's civil rights when you were the Manhattan DA? And he can't say no to a question like that. So this is Mark Pomerantz, right? He was leading the charge of the Stormy Daniels case under Manhattan DA Cyrus Vance. And he quit that job when Alvin Bragg took over. And the reason he quit is because back then, Alvin Bragg didn't think there was a case there. He didn't think that Trump did anything wrong. But that was way back when none of the swamp creatures would have ever imagined in a million years that Donald Trump would be back for them. And this Mark Pomerantz, this is the man responsible for all that.
How frequently did you go to the office when you were a special district attorney? Did you have an office physically at that address?
The office is located in several buildings around One Hogan Place. It's not all in one contiguous space of offices. There were several office premises. Having clarified that, I'm not going to answer your question about how often I was physically at the offices of the Manhattan District Attorney.
Did you have your own desk there?
Again, I'm not going to respond to your question.
On the basis of what?
On the basis of the fifth paragraph of my statement. Conveniently, Mr. Castor, the fifth paragraph relates to the Fifth Amendment.
So, since you've left the employ of the Manhattan VA, do you use email as a method of communication?
I decline to answer your question.
And who's your current email provider?
I decline to answer that question as well.
On the Fifth Amendment grounds?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be pedantic, I'm just trying to make the record.
No, I understand that. And I appreciate that.
And who's your current cell phone provider?
Likewise, I refuse to answer that question on the basis of my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
So obviously, I mean, the guy doesn't want to answer any of these questions, right? And I'm not entirely sure what he thinks his cell phone or email provider would prove, but who knows? Maybe he's got a burner phone that they know about. I don't know. But these congressional investigators, they're sharp, and they do not ask questions that they don't already have a pretty good idea of the answer on. And I think the last thing that Pomerantz would want to do is lie to Congress. But luckily for this guy, I mean, the Fifth Amendment is pretty broad. I mean, it covers quite a lot. You could pretty much say it anytime anyone asks you anything. And it seems to be, honestly, if you look at it, about the only time you can get a liberal to actually even quote the Constitution. But anyway, so this guy, of course, he wrote a book. And in his book, he writes that when he joined the Trump prosecution, he got emails and texts from friends and well-wishers telling him to go get him.
I acknowledge writing the book, but I'm not going to expand beyond what is contained in the book for the reasons reflected in my opening statement.
Did they really say go get him?
Again, Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to respond beyond what is printed in the book.
Did they not say go get him?
Not going to answer your question.
If you're watching this and you're able to convince yourself that really this is no big deal, that this is really just some political operative dealing with some partisan investigators, I get it, but just remind yourself, this is not a political operative. This is a prosecutor who targeted a political candidate with the power of an entire state. But if you're still not sure, just listen, please listen to this.
And did you knowingly break any laws when investigating President Trump?
Objection.
Same response.
Did you break any laws when you worked at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office?
Objection.
Same response.
Ms. Pomerantz, did you violate any person's constitutional rights when you worked on the Trump investigation?
Objection.
have the same response to your question.
Mr. Pomerantz, did you
so.
violate any person's constitutional rights while you worked at the Manhattan DA's office?
Objection.
Same answer.
Did you misuse any federal funds while investigating President Trump?
Same response.
Did you misuse any federal funds while you were working in the Manhattan District Attorney's office?
Same response.
And did you violate any New York State bar rules while you were investigating President Trump?
Objection.
Same response.
Did you violate any New York State bar rules while you were working in the Manhattan District Attorney's office?
Objection.
Same response.
And did you violate any canons of legal ethics when you were investigating President Trump?
Objection.
Same response.
Did you ever violate any canons of legal ethics while you worked at the Manhattan District Attorney's office?
Objection.
The same response.
I'm sorry, man, but if you can't answer no to at least some of those questions, then you cannot be trusted to be a prosecutor who is responsible for sending people to prison. I mean, it's that simple. You should be able to answer no to every single one of those questions. And again, this is important. This is important stuff because this is the architect of the very case that we're now in day 7 of testimony, and we still have not heard of a crime as I record this right now. Not one crime. And the people in the media talking about Trump farting and Trump falling asleep and Trump's going to go to jail for a gag order, they are the same people that told you that Donald Trump pleading the fifth means that he's got to be guilty of everything, literally everything you could possibly accuse a guy of. Those are the same people that are going to completely and totally ignore this. You will never, ever, ever hear about this in any of the mainstream liberal corporate media. So share this video, man. People have got to see this because this is the truth. But that's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, man, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.